Welcome back to another class of Halacha for women. We are continuing in the section called Otzar Dinim in Halacha number 7. Tov להקפיד בקטן שהגיע לחינוך, שגופו נקי אחר עשיית צרכיו, ועל האיש לזרז את בניך על כך. It is good to be particular with a child who had reached the age of chinuch. I will explain what that means. That his body should be clean after he took care of his bowels. Meaning after a child went into the restroom and made number 2, we have to see to it that his body should be clean. And the obligation is placed on the mother of the house in order to go ahead and try to educate her children on this. Now, what does it mean, the age of chinuch? The age of chinuch literally means the age of education. What does chinuch mean? A lot of times we as parents do not realize that not only do we have to do mitzvot, but also we have to educate our children to do mitzvot. What do I mean? Let's say a person, when it comes to doing Havdalah after Shabbat is out, and now the child wants to eat something. Again, if he wants to eat, if he really has to eat, you can go ahead and give it to him. But midin chinuch, from the side of educating your child, you have to explain to the child that you're not allowed to go ahead and eat yet until you do Havdalah. It's just educational wise. You have to educate your children, and so on and so forth. So that's over here, when it comes from the age of chinuch, when is that? That's from the age of 6. If the child is very sharp, even from the age of 5. That's when it's placed already on the parents to go ahead and start educating the children in the mitzvot of Hashem. So that's what he says over here. ועל כל פנים מותר להנך את הקטנים לברך ולומר פסוקים ודברי תורה אף אם יודע שאין מקנחים את הזמן יפה. Nevertheless, Rav Chaim Igal says, you are allowed to go ahead and educate your children to bless and say pasukim, verses from the Torah, and to say words of Torah, even if you know 100% that he did not clean himself very well. You're allowed to go ahead and educate him. You're allowed to teach him the bracha. For example, one of the things of chinuch is you wash your child's hands for bread. After you wash the hands, you want to tell him and say, repeat after me. Or if he knows the bracha, you're going to tell him, let him say the bracha. When he says the bracha, if he knows who he's blessing to, you're going to answer Amen. And so on and so forth. So there are educational obligations that are placed on parents to educate our children. So that's what he says over here. You are able, even though you know that the child, he does not clean himself very well, you know that the number 2 might be on his tuchus, and so on and so forth, not a problem. He says over here, you're allowed to go ahead and teach them how to bless, teach them how to say verses from the Torah, say words of Torah, and so on and so forth. You are even allowed to sit next to such a child that you know that he didn't wipe himself very well. You're allowed to recite Shema next to him, you're allowed to daven next to him, you're allowed to bless next to him. As long as a bad odor or a foul smell is not coming out from the child, then it's going to be asur for a person to learn, bless, or do anything like that. That's why you have to be very careful when you are down in Shemna Esrei, or when you are saying Birkat HaMazon in your house, and somebody let out gas, and now you continue davening with all the kavanah. If the area where you are smells, you can't continue. You're not allowed to continue. The only time we allow a person to continue if there's a bad smell, that's only in the base medrash. For example, let's say you have 10 people learning Torah, 10 men learning Torah. One of them decided to go to sleep. Now while he's sleeping, he's letting out gas. Over there, even though we should have said nobody should learn Torah because the smell is very bad, we're going to say you're allowed to learn Torah. Why are you allowed to learn Torah? Because if we're going to do this, and people a lot of times, if they fall asleep in the base medrash, in a study hall, what's going to end up happening? This one is sleeping, that one's sleeping, this one's going to let out gas, this one's going to let out gas. So when are we going to learn? If you're going to tell us to stop, we're never going to be learning. So that's what the Chachamim said. The people that did not let out that gas, when it comes to Torah, they are allowed to continue to learn Torah. But the people themselves that did let out gas, they're not allowed to learn Torah. How much so in our cases when you're davening in the shul, right? You're davening in the women's section, and you have a foul odor. Somebody, I don't know, they brought a child with a full diaper, and now you smell, it's bad. You're not allowed to daven. You have to if you're in the middle of Shemona, you have to stop. If you're saying Tehillim, you have to stop. If you're saying Birkat Hamazon, you have to stop. The only thing we will allow you to do, that's only if it's words of Torah. He continues to here and he says, so that's what he said. That's what you're allowed to even sit by their sides to recite Shema and to pray and to bless, as long as there's no bad smell coming out of them. Halacha number chet. What's the best way to go ahead and place a bed? Right? A lot of times, I don't know if you guys know, there's a whole thing, should you put east to west, north to south, should your head be on the east side and your legs be on the west side, and so on and so forth. So he says over here, Yuchlim l'sader et amitot kifi shirtzu. If the women want, they are able to put the beds whichever way they want, north to south, east to west, whatever way they want, they're allowed to go ahead and place it. However, he says, however, wherever it's possible, tov l'sader is good to go ahead and arrange your beds. Tov l'sader amita be'ofen sherosha yeh l'mizrach u'margaloteha l'ma'arav. If it is possible, if you are able to go ahead and do this in your house, to arrange a bed in such a fashion, meaning your head should be on the east side, the headrest should be on the east side, the leg rest should be on the west side, where your legs are going to be lying down. If it's possible, you're not going to have problems, not covering the windows, not covering the heater system, it's not taking up a lot of space. It's only a matter of discomfort, it's only a matter of moving the bed, that's all it is. If you can, it's preferable that you should do that. A person should try to have his bed from east to west, and you should sleep your head on the east side and your legs on the west side. But nevertheless, like we saw before, he says you are allowed to put your bed whichever way you want. Just let's start Halacha Gimel, very important Halacha over here. In Per Gimel, Din Birkat Asher Yatzar, the Halachot of blessing Asher Yatzar. Gam Anashim Chayavot Birkat Asher Yatzar, and also the women are obligated in the blessing of Asher Yatzar. Shenitkina al Yidei Anshe Knesset HaGedolah, that was established through the men of the Great Assembly. She should bless immediately after drying her hands. So too they should educate their small children. They should wash their hands after they took care of their needs. And they should bless the blessing of Asher Yatzar. In Halacha Bet he says, let's say a woman went and she took care of her needs. Ben Gedolim, Ben Ketanim, whether she made number 1, whether she made number 2, doesn't matter. She forgot to bless Asher Yatzar immediately. The child was bothering her. She got a phone call there. The food was boiling. I don't know. She completely forgot to bless Asher Yatzar. If she's able to remember within 72 minutes that she did not bless Asher Yatzar, she's allowed to go ahead and bless now Asher Yatzar. A woman goes to the bathroom at 1 o'clock. At 2 o'clock, her husband tells her, you didn't say Asher Yatzar. Or the children say, Mommy, you usually say Asher Yatzar, and we answer Amen after you. Today we didn't hear you say it. Meaning within that hour, from 1 till 2. And she remembers that, wow, I really didn't say it. So she's 60 minutes after the time when she went to the bathroom. She allowed to say Asher Yatzar? Absolutely. She has until 72 minutes. Meaning until an hour and 12 minutes after the time when she went to the bathroom. So in our case, if she went at 1 o'clock, she has time till 2:12. So that's what he says. He says, if she remembers within 72 minutes, she should bless Asher Yatzar. But if she didn't remember within 72 minutes, she shouldn't bless the blessing Asher Yatzar. Meaning, you came at 2:13, which is already 73 minutes past the time you went to the bathroom. You could no longer say the bracha of Asher Yatzar, you actually lost it. What happens, a woman forgot to say Asher Yatzar. An hour has passed. She's about to say Asher Yatzar, but then she realizes she has to go again to the bathroom. We're going to tell her, go to the bathroom, don't bless Asher Yatzar. When you come out of the bathroom, bless Asher Yatzar, and that Asher Yatzar will cover both of the Asher Yatzars that you had gone previously to the restroom. So we see over here, Rabotai, how important it is. And by the way, this happens a lot. This happens very much where we go to the bathroom, we come out, and we get so involved with everything that we're doing, we forget to bless Asher Yatzar. Rabotai, the greatest segula they bring down on these, forget the name of the sefer, the greatest segula to being healthy is saying Asher Yatzar with kavanah. And that's what the Yitzhar knows. Distract her here, distract him, do this, do that, do this. By the time you already want to say, did I say Asher Yatzar, did I not? either you forget, so if meaning either you don't know if you said it or not, now you cannot say it at all. And a lot of times you forget, or a lot of times it's after 73 minutes, so therefore you can't, meaning after 72 minutes, so therefore you can no longer go ahead and even say Asher Yatzar now. In any event, we saw this halachot, Rabotai. We do conclude, by the way, with Perek Gimel. We conclude with Perek Bet and Perek Gimel. Bezrat Hashem, tomorrow we will start Perek Dalet. Have a great day.